You are now listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Podcast.
Welcome to Ride With Me, episode number 30. Dude, 30 episodes already. I can't believe I'm freaking that far. Today is November 28, 2020, and today's guest, his mother-in-law cuts my hair.
Yeah, she does. She's a barber.
She is a barber. She literally lives right here. Her shop is literally 5 houses from my...
Yes, sir.
She's 5 houses from here, so it's pretty cool. It's funny because when we first moved out here, I would go, I didn't introduce you, bro. Your name again?
My name is Jacob Andrade. I am 24 years old. I have my own podcast, and we met each other through podcasts, and this is actually the first time that we ever met each other.
In person,
and we're doing a podcast.
Now, I always do say that I watch who I bring around the house, but technically you didn't meet the kids. They kept inside. I'm like, this guy's a stranger danger. Stay inside.
For sure.
No, I'm playing. Yeah. But no, because just by speaking to your mother-in-law, speaking to you through email and Instagram, you seem like a cool kid. You're freaking, you just had a baby.
Yeah, he is 2 weeks old.
Yeah, how's that going?
He doesn't let us sleep.
Yeah, well, this is a little break, right?
Yeah. I'm glad to be here.
Yes. We were looking for a haircut place, and we didn't even know where to go to, so we got in the car, and we drove. Because at first, when we first moved out here, I think the first, I'm going to say 6 months, every time we went back to Oxnard, where I'm from, we went to the same lady that cut my hair for the past, since 2000. So she cut my hair for 18 years, and now your mom took over.
Yeah, you were a loyal customer.
I do. No matter what, did she always cut my hair? It was her. She was the one, and she's seen my kids from in the womb to what they are now.
Oh wow!
And so that day, we're not from. Okay, I can't wait. My hair's too long. I cannot wait till we go to Oxnard. So we took off for a drive, and no joke, 20 minutes later, my kids come walking back. My wife's like, "What happened?" And they're like, "Oh, there's a shop right here, like just walking distance." So I sent them right back, and then when COVID hit, your mother-in-law would come over here. She cut her hair a couple times. So when the shop opened up again, I don't know why I mentioned a podcast, and she said, "Oh, my son-in-law does a podcast," and I'm like, "Oh, really?" And I showed her the little picture of mine, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, his is," and she looked through you on Instagram or something like that, and I found yours. And yours was Random Topics. That's what you call it, right?
Yeah, that's the name.
You want to give the name of it? Just Random Topics?
Yeah, it's called Random Topics. And the reason it's called Random Topics was because I didn't want to get too focused on one genre. Andy could probably vouch for me that my episodes are random. Some of them are just funny. Some of them actually have some value to them. But it's all random and sporadic.
Yeah, so I think the first one I heard was this dude interviewed his dog. How's that possible, bro?
Oh man,
that was pretty funny though. So who was doing the voiceover for your dog?
My wife.
Your wife was playing the part of your dog.
Yeah,
that was pretty funny, dude.
Yeah, and she gets we both get really into character with our dog, because before we even made the episode, we would always talk for him.
Right.
So he already had his personality before he was even on the podcast. Yeah. So
no, I told my wife, babe, this guy interviewed his dog. Like, I'm out of the game. Like, this guy interviewed a dog. Yeah. Like, where the hell? I need to interview something with my dog. Get over here, man. See what I got. I mean, I'm gonna interview the neighbor's dog or cat or some shit like that. I'm gonna top you, man. Thanks. And then you did an episode about credit score.
Yeah.
And every detail you talked about the credit score, I was like 100% agreeing with you. Yep. Because my credit score was shot out at before I even hit 18, bro. My,
it's very common.
Cable and freaking, I had a cable bill. I had freaking I was in so much debt before I even hit 18 because my Social Security was used for like phone, house phone and cable and electric bills, and all these bills weren't even paid, and I had no idea. So I never knew. No one taught me the value or how to have a credit score.
For sure.
And little by little, once I figured out what it was, then okay, so I got to do this, I got to do that, and I mean, right now I'm happy at 700.
That's
I'm
sweet spot.
But I used to be in the 300s, man.
Yeah,
and
it's normal.
And when Papi Trump sent out that that chequecito, that little check, that credit score went from 500 to 700, quick. Paid some bills.
For sure.
But yeah, no, every step of the way everything you described on that episode about credit score, I was like, yeah, he's right. Yep, done that. Yup. So that's a good one, man.
Yeah, and you know the podcast episode's only about what 10 minutes. And,
Short ones, yeah.
And it took me months to learn that because I was on my own, you know, kind of like yourself.
Right.
So that, you know, that's just if you want to avoid learning how credit scores work on your own, just listen to the podcast. It's 10 minutes, and there's a lot of value to it. So, yeah.
And then you did also like you're doing real estate?
Yeah, so I'm currently a real estate agent for EXP Realty, and I hand out referral fees. So anyone who sends me a buyer or seller gets $500.
Damn. All right, I gotta think of some buddies right now.
For sure.
Think of some buddies. But hold on, let me open my beer, man. I
Yeah.
didn't even opened it, dude. I am not. I've never been into like beer. Like, you know what? Actually, somebody asked me, how come you haven't talked about why you're not into beer? Okay, first, I'm not a big fan of the taste of it.
Mm-hmm.
Second, I've seen what it could do to people. I had a buddy of mine that would apparently talk about the time he was abducted by aliens.
Oh, wow.
So I was like, yeah, I don't know if I ever want to get drunk where I'm going to talk about aliens. But I just seen like just what it does to people and the stupidity that people do. And I've seen, I was around alcohol my entire life. My mom always had parties and friends and everything that came over, and they're always getting wasted. A friend of mine punched a hole through the bathroom wall and
Oh my God.
freaking clogged up our bathroom sink one day. I'm like, yeah, I'm never going to drink, you know. But then obviously I hit some depressed times where I started drinking to see what the hell. It wasn't a good outcome. I was telling you earlier, I freaking one day had Jägermeister with Monster Energy drink.
Jaeger bombs.
Dude, it was those big gulps from 7-Eleven.
Oh,
That's
wow.
it. Yeah, we just fuck it. The whole Jaeger,
So you don't
Jaeger
like
bomber
beer,
or whatever.
You don't like beer, but you just drink a lot of bad stuff.
Yeah, yeah. No joke. I'm gonna say after that cup was finished, about 30-40 minutes later, a bunch of black stuff. I puked a bunch of black stuff. So that was not good.
Yeah.
And so now the only time I drink it, like then, well, before after that, I never drank again. And then the only time I'll drink is when I beer pong. Obviously, you've heard a couple of those stories. I only, because I'm very competitive and I don't want to lose.
Oh, me too.
And yeah, so this past couple weeks, I think a couple weekends ago, I ended up losing for the first time with these people out here. And I retired, dude. I hang the hat. That's it, done. I lost 2 games. I'm done. I'm retired.
Put up the jersey.
That's it, done. Hang it up. Retire my number. I'm done. But I got into these because they're pretty good, dude.
What are they?
They're just hard seltzers from Belgian Beaver.
Oh, nice.
They're, freaking 110 calories, 5.5 alcohol, and you really taste the fruit. So bottoms up.
For sure. I'm gonna take a sip. You're taking a sip.
Oh yeah, this one's passion fruit and guava.
And where do they sell those? Just anywhere?
Anywhere. I can't announce that on the podcast.
Oh, for
I
sure.
don't want to get sued.
Okay.
I don't want to get
sure.
sued. But yeah, I mean, I think there's a couple liquor stores nearby here that have them.
Oh, for sure.
I'll tell you off the podcast.
Okay.
But yeah, no, that's why I'm not a big fan of drinking, man. I just I'll drink this and that's it. I'll probably have another one, but I'm done for the day. I will never drink to get wasted. I think I did for my brother-in-law's wedding this last June. It was just a small thing.
Yeah.
We were playing so much beer pong, dude. I beat everyone there, but I was gone. I was drunk.
Yeah.
And they're like, dude, you're an angry drunk, dude. Your face is like fuck off to everyone.
Competitive focus.
Yeah, my wife had to take me upstairs and put me to bed because she's like, you looked pissed. I'm like, what? I was having a good time. She was like, you were pissed.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, I will not drink on purpose to get drunk. I will only get drunk if I need to come out of retirement.
For sure. And there is a lot of negative aspects to drinking, so kudos to you for not drinking. You're going to have, you're not going to face a lot of the negative outcomes of what other people
Even
endure.
like cigarettes, dude. Like I don't smoke cigarettes. For being 38 years old, I've never touched a blunt or joint or whatever they call them. I've smelled them, but I've driven in cars with people. Like I was in college and my friend, we were driving to school. I didn't drive back then, so she picked me up. We were driving to school, and the whole car reeked of fucking weed. And I got to class pretty much stoned. You can smell it on me. you can. I know I was freaking stoned as fuck,
Mm-hmm.
and on the way home, I decided to not wait for them, and I just took off walking. I went walking, and she finally caught up to me when I was pretty much close to my house, and she's like, hey, I was gonna take you home. And I'm like, I'm sorry, but I can't ride with you guys like that. I just can't. I'm secondhand smoking big time, especially for weed, and I'm going to class smelling like this. I can't. And she's like, so I'm sorry. I mean, we can't be friends. And, you know, freaking nerdy little kid in fucking college, she gave up weed. As long as I did, like, I don't know where she's at now, but yeah, she gave up weed.
That's good.
So she's like, my friendship is more important than this blunt. So, and yeah, and we ended up I ended up winning tickets for a Jingle Ball concert. I don't know if you heard about those on the radio.
Mm-mm.
Jingle Ball concert is like they have a bunch of people, artists, and that year was Jingle Ball 2000. Yeah, and I got to see Michael Jackson.
Oh, you saw
Michael Jackson. I saw Michael Jackson live, man.
Wow.
They gave him an award. So just YouTube Jingle Ball 2000 or 2000 or Jingle Ball 2001, and Michael Jackson gets an award. I was there. But yeah, no, she valued my friendship more. So yeah, again, 38 years old, never smoked a weed.
Yeah,
and
dude, anyone that could do that, that is honor right there.
And even like people like, dude, the shit you've said on your podcast, never. To me, my drug was either freaking going to the beach and fishing for 8 hours, and that's it, or just staring at the ocean or whatever. Like, it wasn't just alcohol. Wasn't you forget your problems. It never caught my attention. Right now, to me, I feel like it's. I learned when I was in going to the Salvation Army Church, that when somebody hands you something at their house, it's never rude. It's always it's rude if you don't accept it.
Right.
Just take it and drink it.
Yeah.
In this case, because I offered you a beer and you said yes, I'm going to drink one with you.
Oh, okay.
Because I don't have waters, but I got a beer.
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, I'll take a beer.
Well, I said yes because I wanted it.
So I'll have one with you.
For sure.
But yeah, dude, again, 38, never really never did any kind of drugs. Never. I had a cigarette when I was like 14 years old because, again, I heard it releases stress.
Yeah.
That shit was disgusting.
I smoked for a year.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I couldn't do it.
19 to 20 smoking.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't do it, bro. But
it doesn't feel good, but it feels good. Like it doesn't feel good to inhale, but it feels good to exhale.
yeah, I had.
Yeah.
Well, I don't know if you heard the episode with Officer Ricky got married, and he asked me if I would freaking smoke a cigar with him.
Yeah.
I did. This shit was disgusting, dude.
Yeah, man. I chewed tobacco. I tried dip. I don't like dip. You know, I've tried cigars, hookah. None of them were like a problem, but I've definitely tried a bunch.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How old are you, man? 24, you said?
24.
Okay.
I have a joke if you want to hear it.
Go for it.
It's not an intentional joke. I didn't make it up. It's a true story.
Go for
Okay.
it.
So I'm a Lyft driver, right? To make some extra cash.
Yeah.
Always, I pick somebody up. Hey, how old are you? 24. Oh, really? You look 18. I'm like, oh, okay, yeah, I get that all the time. You
Yeah.
know,
That's why I had to grow this.
Yeah, I can't even grow a beard, right? You know, I'm cursed. But so that happens over and over and over again, over and over, and I'm just used to it right now. It doesn't faze me. And then I pick up a blind guy.
Oh, no.
Mm-hmm. He's blind. He can't see me.
Okay.
He comes in. We're talking. He's like, how old are you? And I'm like, oh my God. I'm thinking, oh my God. And I say, I'm 24. And he's like, what? You sound 18. And I'm like, he can't see me, but my facial reaction is like, oh my God.
He's blind.
He can't see me. So
I guess it's in your voice. You do sound really
for
young,
sure.
man.
You know, I sound young. I look young. I coach a wrestling team.
And no, yeah, that's what I was going to ask you.
Yeah.
It's like, because you've done a lot for being only 24.
Yeah.
So a blind guy can tell you sound 18.
Yeah, I sound like I'm 18 years old.
Yeah, so
Which is fine. I don't
that's
mind.
crazy. No, I got that a lot too. Even to this day, I think somebody told me today. Even today, it's like, hey, you look younger. I'm like, well, I don't know. I am trying to lose weight. But yeah, dude, I saw on your Instagram that you coach a wrestling team.
Yeah.
How's that going with COVID?
So it's not right now. All we're doing right now is conditioning outdoors with masks on, social distancing, and that's all we can do. And that's probably all we will be able to do until there's some sort of vaccine or something that's going on. So yeah.
What got you into that?
So
Because you're into real estate. You're into coaching kids wrestling.
Mm-hmm.
Done a bunch of drugs. No,
No.
Just had a kid.
Right.
How do you juggle everything, man?
Okay, great. I'm glad you brought that up. And I think of, so
Look, because real quick.
What's up?
This is my thing. I go to work 8, 9, maybe 10 hours. I come home. Either I podcast or I go play video games.
I play video games too.
have a whole freaking agenda.
So I'll tell you all my roles. So it's so I'm a dad, I'm a husband, I own 2 dogs, I'm a real estate agent, I'm a coach. What else? Oh, I'm a Lyft driver, and I'm a full-time student. So how do I do that? It all just so happens to come together. But the reason I bring that up is, so you know those, I don't know how to explain it, but you know those guys that have sticks and they spin plates on them?
I'm not sure what that talent's called, but I know what you're talking about.
And then, like, once one's spinning, you get another one going.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then eventually he has a bunch.
Yeah.
Okay, so I got that analogy from Michelle Obama, which is Obama's wife, and she referred that to Obama, said that's how he is.
Yeah.
And then when I heard her say that, I was like, okay, so it's possible to handle multiple roles and responsibilities. And I gave it a shot, and so far it's been working.
No, that's good for you, man.
Yeah.
And then you managed to schedule to come here.
Yeah, exactly.
So how'd you get into the wrestling thing?
Okay, so I was 14. So I played basketball when I was in middle school. And then
Officer Ricky will like you for that.
For sure. And I was point guard when I was 12, whatever. And so I get into high school and I want to try out for the basketball team. And there was this guy, his name is Abel Arellano. I had him for a Spanish class and he just liked me. He was a sophomore, I was a freshman, and he just liked me. And he kept picking at me to join wrestling.
Gotcha.
And I was like, no, And he's like, no, just come swing by, just, check it out. I swing by, I check it out. I see a bunch of dudes, beating each other up.
I want to do that.
Yeah. And no, not even that.
Nope.
I was 4 foot, 4 foot 11 inches, 90 pounds looking in there. And I was like, no, thank you. And I left,
Yeah.
And then the next day he's like, hey, so did you sign up? And I'm like, no. He's like, no, like he just kept pushing it, like for some reason. And then I go again. And, instead of going through the front door, I go through the back door, because when I went through the front door, I saw a bunch of people beating each other up. So I go through the back door, and I answered the back door, and there was this guy named Jeff Vargas. He was like 215 pounds, a senior.
Oh, shit.
I'm a freshman. I'm like 90 pounds, like
Yeah.
4'11". And he's like,
Dude, I think my son weighs more than you right now. Like at that age,
yeah,
he's
dude,
6 and he's
believe
only
me.
11.
I'm a late bloomer. I'm 24. I sound like I'm 18. When I was 14, I looked 10,
Yeah.
And so I walk past him, and he looks at me, and he's like, South Hills Wrestling state champions 1981. And I'm like, I don't even know what that means, but that's scary. And I go in there, I go into the coach's office, and I start speaking to the head coach. And I ask him, I'm like, hey, this is my name, and I kind of want to try wrestling.
Yeah.
And then he hits me with this. He says, okay, I'll let you join, but only if you don't quit. That's what he said.
Okay.
He said, but only if you don't quit. And I'm like, shit, right? So I'm like, okay, and then I sign up, and then now I just like made a verbal commitment from start to finish of 4 years of, high school. Never tried out for basketball. And I fell in love with the sport. It was like super fulfilling, especially for my size. There's different weight classes.
Right.
So I was able to wrestle at my weight. I learned a bunch. I was super grateful that I went through that experience, and now I'm trying to give back to what the program did to me.
That's cool, dude. I saw a couple of your Instagram photos, and it looks like you had a nice size class, man.
Yeah.
Well, good for you, man.
Thanks.
And then you were also in the Army or
Marine Corps.
Marine
Yeah.
Corps. So that's what made me get you to come on. So
For sure.
the other day, we walked this park right here around the corner, San Angelo Park.
Mm-hmm.
That's our go-to every day. We do it for about an hour, so about 3 miles a day. But I have a tendency of playing Pokemon Go.
Hell
Grown
yeah.
ass man plays Pokemon Go. So at the same time, I was listening to one of your episodes, and I listened to the one where you went to Syria.
Yes, sir.
I heard that story,
Mm-hmm.
and I was like, "Holy shit! I want him to repeat that on my podcast."
And I will do that for you.
Because it was pretty cool. I mean, it was just how you explained it, which I'm gonna let you do that.
Yeah.
When you said a certain point, we're like, well, you can't do this, but this might happen, but you can't do this. Just the way you said it was freaking hilarious.
Uh-huh.
And I was like, dude, this guy has seen more than I have. And I've had my buddy Paul on here. He's been in the Army. He's been out there. Also, he's told a story or two. And then I bumped into a guy the other day at one of my liquor stores that I call on. And it was Veterans Day. And he mentioned something about, veterans or like whatever. And I can tell he was a veteran himself. And I'm like, dude, hey, I have a podcast. Like right away, hey, I have a podcast. I don't normally ask random people, but just how your interaction with this guy, you're a veteran. You have a story. I would love to have you on the podcast. So here, catch up on this, and if you like what you hear, let me know. I was like, dude, I need to have this kid on here, man. So go for it, man. If you can remember the entire story, go for it. It's all you, man.
Yeah, I'll do my best. Okay, I mean, I started the episode talking about how I even got in there. Would you like me to start off there?
Yeah, go for it. How'd you get recruited, and how'd you led to...
Okay.
What was it, 2016 story?
Yeah, it was late 2016 going into 2017 was
the story that I want you to talk about.
Yeah.
Yeah, go for it.
Okay. All right, so here we go. So I was in the Marine Corps. And I joined in 2014. I got out 2018. And so I joined, right? I go through the boot camp, difficult. Go through the MCT, Marine Combat Training, fairly difficult. I go to my MOS school. I learn my MOS. MOS stands for Military Occupation Specialty. It's just a job. All right, and my job was heavy equipment. So I did bulldozing, front end loaders, and forklifts, essentially. There was more than that, but those are the three main ones. So, after MOS school, I got stationed with Combat Logistics Battalion 1. And when I first got there, that unit had just came back from a deployment. It was Afghanistan. And considering they just got back, it meant that there wasn't going to be a deployment within that unit for a while. And I didn't have an opportunity to deploy. But I worked hard. And I worked hard enough to the point where my staff NCO noticed me. And when he had the opportunity to send someone to a different unit that was going to deploy, he considered me because of my work ethic. And I am grateful for that. His name was Staff Sergeant John Louise. So he sends me to Combat Logistics Battalion 11, which is attached to a MEU. MEU is MEU. It stands for Marine Expeditionary Unit.
Real quick, are you listening to your episode on your ear right now? Because you're going detail for detail from your episode.
I'm trying to remember.
Dude, everything. Detail for detail. Go.
Right. It stands for Marine Expeditionary Unit. It just means like mobile, kind of. So we get attached to ships. There's 3 different ships. The battalion gets split up into 3. I get put on what's called the Somerset, and I deploy, right? So now I'm deployed with my little... unit within the bigger unit, and we're sailing across the Pacific. This is what's supposed to happen. So on a MEUs are going on all the time. Different units, different MEUs are going on all the time. And the point is, you just sail across the ocean and you come back over a course of 7 months. And in the event that the military needs you somewhere, then they send you. So that's essentially what happened to me. Typically, nothing happens. You sail across, the ocean, you visit different ports, and then you come home. That's normally what happens, but that isn't what happened with my unit. This is what happened with my unit. So we begin our journey in San Diego. We port out on ship, sail across Hawaii. We go to Singapore, our first port, and then from there we go to like Sri Lanka, and then we sail into Djibouti, Africa. And then we do some training in Africa.
You've been all over the place, huh?
Yeah. Well, a bunch of places, yeah.
Nice. The farthest I've gone is El Paso, bro.
Nice.
That's the farthest I've gone.
Yeah, I mean, other than that, I haven't been very far. So we visit a bunch of places, and then during this time, the 2016 presidential election is going on, and I'm on ship. It's predominantly Republican because the military is predominantly Republican, and there's, a bunch of Republicans on ship, and Trump gets elected. Everybody's excited or whatever, and we're like, okay, cool, whatever. And this is why we ended up going to Syria, was because under the previous administration, they weren't really what you call trigger happy or like trigger eager or whatever, and we didn't. For the most part, people didn't go into like combat operations, and so under a new leadership, now President Trump has been elected. He was setting up his staff, and one of his staff members was General Mattis, a retired Marine Corps general. And so what MEUs do is they send up what's like just potential things that they could do when they're in a certain area, and that's what they do. They send it up, and one of those things was what was going on in Syria with ISIS at the time, and there was multiple conflicting interests within Syria, but ISIS was one of them. And those orders go up, and between, I guess, Trump and General Mattis, they decide that they should be American influence within Syria, and they approved that mission, and then it trickles back down to us. And we then get orders that we're actually going to go to Syria. And my MEU was split up into 3 different combat logistics detachments, and only one of the 3 combat logistics detachments went, and that was my combat logistics detachment. And it's based off of like your work ethic, and because they're not just going to send their worst combat logistics detachment to a random, they want the best. Yeah. And so it all comes back to like work ethic or whatever. Yeah. And that's what we did. We just
like when you go to Amazon, you buy what's 5 stars.
Exactly.
You guys were 5-star.
Yeah.
Nothing close, but
yeah.
But hey, that's all I got. That's what I got. I saw an Amazon box somewhere. Yeah. So that's what I got.
Yeah. So my detachment gets picked to go, and it wasn't just my combat logistics detachment. There was a combat engineer battalion that got picked to go. There was an infantry detachment that got picked to go, and whatnot. So we get the orders. They tell us, hey, you're going to Syria, and this is what might happen. They don't abide by typical combat rules. They might use stuff like gas. Yeah. So expect that, and we're just like, okay. And then they say this is what really threw me off. They said,
and I think this is the part that I'm like, holy shit.
Yeah. They said, you can't tell anybody where we're going.
Yeah.
You cannot, like you, Jacob, you're going to Syria, and you cannot tell your family you're going to Syria. Your family thinks you're on a MEU, which you're just going to float around, come back home. But that's not what's going on. You're going to Syria to assist against the fight against ISIS, but you cannot tell your family at all. So I'm like, okay, shit. So I was in Djibouti, Africa. They were telling us that, and I'm like, holy, like, crud. And so then, yeah, like, I might die, and I can't even tell my family.
I was like, holy shit. I'm listening to that, and I'm telling you, dude, I'm playing Pokemon Go, and I come to a stop, and like, the hell did he just say? Rewind 15 seconds. Holy shit.
And that really happened, though.
But then I kind of laughed. I'm like, because he's technically here. He's going to come to the house. I'm going to invite him over to the house. He's alive. He's here. So that makes it funny, because like the way you said it was like, we might die, but we can't tell our family.
We literally can't tell her. And they were serious. One person told their, I think his girlfriend or wife. Yeah. And they cut him off. He wasn't allowed to go anymore.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. So it was like, kind of like.
He shot himself in the foot on purpose.
I bet, yeah. But here's the thing, too, is you would think that Marines would have loved, any other Marine would have loved to have been in my position and been like, yeah, and sit here and be like, yeah, I went to Syria. Blah. Yeah. And there's not a whole lot of deployment opportunities in the military. So something like that is gold to them. Yeah. So when you say shoot yourself in the foot, it depends who it is, but for the most part, no, they want to go. Yeah.
Well, except for that guy.
Yeah. And so anyway, so they tell us that, and I'm like, okay, I cannot tell anybody where I'm going. Yeah. And but I might die. Yeah. So I do this, and I haven't told anybody this, so I'm gonna put it in.
Oh here. Shit! All right, I'll take it.
I walk to a porta-john, and I take out my notepad, and I start writing like, if I die, like, what am I going to tell my family,
I'm giving my PlayStation 3 to my unborn son.
It wasn't like a will. It was one of those, like, reminiscing things, thank you, don't be sad, like, whatever. And,
but don't they do that? Like, I think I saw that in a couple movies where they have, like, letters attached to them, and then, like, when they die, that's the first thing. Not only do they grab the dog tag, but they'll grab, like, whatever letter is on them.
Yeah, so I did it a little differently. I wrote it out. Yeah. And I sent a package to my friend. His name is Gary Lewis, here back home. And I told him, I was like, hey, I can't tell you what I'm doing or anything, but, like, if I die, can you please make sure that this letter gets to my family? Yeah, and he said, yeah. So I sent it to him. He got it. And he never read it out of respect.
That's good. That's cool. Yeah.
And then I'll go back to the story, but when I got home, he gave it to me, and I just threw it away.
Well, you didn't have to. That's good.
Yeah. So yeah, I did that. It's one of those things. Well, I always compare wrestling with the Marine Corps, and I'll put it like this: wrestling was the toughest thing I've ever did physically.
Okay.
The Marines mentally, it's just Can I cuss on your podcast?
I already did it a couple times.
Right.
At first, I try to stay away from that. It just happens naturally,
okay.
dude.
Mentally, the Marines just fuck me up. That's all I have to say.
Yeah.
But it was very hard. Like to like mentally prepare yourself for stuff like that was challenging. So yeah, I did that, and then so to continue with the story, we flew out to Kuwait, where we did basic training. We BZO'd our weapons. Just training in Kuwait, and it was really cold in Kuwait, and we didn't have the proper gear.
Yeah, you said that
to
on your podcast.
handle the cold.
Yeah.
So I was cold. Like I was like spooning my best friends in the back of a truck.
Oh wow!
Did not care, nuts to butt, doesn't matter.
Yeah,
did not matter. I am cold, you're cold. Come hug me. You know? Yeah. And the training schedule was rigorous in the sense that we didn't get much sleep.
Yeah.
3 hours a night for a couple days. Pretty shitty. But it is what it is. And then from there, we fly out to Syria. And on the plane over there, it's like, holy shit, we're going to Syria. And then we landed there at night. And I walked off. And like it just kept repeating in my head, like, holy shit, I'm in Syria.
Yeah.
Like, and I'm walking. Like I point at the dirt right below my feet. I'm like, that's Syria. Like it was just like, holy crud.
That stars above Syria.
Yeah. So, now we're in Syria. The Marines are in Syria, the Army's in Syria, the Navy's in Syria, the Air Force is in Syria. Like everybody's there in Syria. And we all have different purposes, functions,
right,
or whatever. But this is the whole thing. There was two main operations. The Air Force fly over, drop bombs. That was the main one. And the other main one was the Marines artillery. The Marines brought in 4 artillery guns. Just 4. And they did
for how many of them?
4 artillery guns for the whole thing. Like all the Marines, everyone that was there for those 4 artillery guns and the Air Force.
Okay.
And like artillery, if you ever like YouTube artillery, crazy. It's a gun, a big cannon, a gigantic cannon that can kill you from 3 to 9 miles away or more. 20.
Oh shit. Okay.
I'm not an artilleryman. But it's like crazy. Like you could attack like downtown LA from here. Like
oh shit.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the purpose was this. ISIS is in Syria. And the way I take it, what's going on in the people that are calling the shots is this. They said, so we want to eliminate ISIS in Syria, but we don't want Americans to die. So how can we do that? So the Americans partnered with, they call them the Syrian Democratic Forces.
Let them die.
Like that's literally. But here's the thing, they were already fighting them.
Yeah.
So for us to go in and support them was a plus on their end.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that was their logic, was support them, have them fight them hand to hand, while we just support them with artillery and Air Force. And it worked out really well because it worked.
Okay.
My job was to, as a heavy equipment operator, was to like load the ammo, transport it over to the artillery pods, and provide them with their ammo, and then pick up all their like dunnage, which is all the excess from the previous ammo.
Yeah.
And then give them water, food, or whatever, just constant rotation.
Okay.
So that they were always constantly shooting, and that was hitting ISIS hard while the Kurds / SDF was going in and fighting hand to hand and also dying. They were dying in mass numbers too. They had a radio every morning. They would like give numbers, be like, okay, there was a fight going on here, whatever, and this amount of ISIS died and this amount of Kurds died.
Oh wow!
Every morning. So there was stuff going on. Me personally, did I ever shoot someone? No. Did I have to go through that? No. But did any Marine have to go through that while I was there, the 2 months that I was in Syria?
Yeah.
No. We were just supporting. And it worked out great because ISIS ended up, being successfully suppressed. And then Trump pulled the troops out of Syria. But there was like controversy between General Mattis and Trump because General Mattis wanted to keep them in Syria, but Trump didn't. And Then I think that's why General Mattis resigned, but I don't know for sure. But that was basically the gist of what was going on down there. I also got shot at about 5 times, and the base that I was at got shot at more than 40. But they missed every single time.
They should have stayed in school.
Yeah, they didn't know how to shoot their indirect fire.
Okay.
So yeah.
Well, that's a good thing for you. That's a plus for you.
Yeah, and then I came home and that was it. Yeah.
That's crazy, dude.
Yeah.
That's crazy. I mean, I was in college and I signed up to go to the Army.
Mm-hmm.
I guess I just wanted to get the hell out of Oxnard, just get out of here. I was, 18, 19 maybe. And the guy said, well, you didn't graduate high school, but because of the fact that you're in college, if you pass this test, it we'll get you in. We'll take you. And I'm okay at math, and I suck at English.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I passed the English test and I missed the math.
Oh, okay.
And no joke, months later, that's when 9/11 happened.
Oh, crap.
So maybe it wasn't meant for me to go.
Maybe that saved your life.
Yeah, because I'm okay at math. I suck at English, but I passed the English.
It's weird how that works.
Right?
Yeah.
But like everything happens for a reason, I guess. So it's like I was getting ready to go, but then that didn't happen. 9/11 happened, and then 2 months later, 2 years later, I become a dad.
Yeah.
So yeah, it was meant for me not to go. But the stories that I hear from my buddy Paul and what you're saying, and just like, dude, hats off to you guys, man. When they freaking say, freaking Veterans Day and thank you for your service, like I freaking mean it, dude. Thank you for your service, dude.
Thanks,
like you
man.
said, you maybe didn't shoot a gun,
Yeah.
but you still helped them fuckers shoot their guns
Yeah.
that help you guys win that battle.
Yeah.
But yeah, dude, I heard your podcast episode and I was like, holy shit, I want to see if I can get him on here.
Oh, here I am.
Yes, freaking, it was intense, man.
Yeah. It was a good experience overall. Made some great friends, and glad I went through it.
Yeah.
Overall. Yeah.
Hey, things happens in your life that it makes you who you are.
Mm-hmm.
Today, like, it's funny because just the other day I was saying it that if I didn't have the life that I had, I don't think I'd be the person I am today. Because I've been through the struggles and I've been through hell and back.
Yeah.
And even like my wife's uncle said, well, my uncle now, Uncle Roy, like he said, was like, you beat the odds. 9 out of 10 would have killed themselves.
Mm.
So yeah, if it wasn't for the life that I had, I wouldn't be who I am today.
Yeah. And
to have a fucking podcast that I didn't even think it was going to be this, I think it's successful, man. Like 2,000 downloads almost.
Oh, wow.
Freaking every week someone wants to be on here. I'll ask somebody to come on. They'll jump on board. And right now I have this little device that now I can make phone calls and try to see if I can get them that way. I have a buddy in Santa Barbara that might come on. He has to clear his name from a couple episodes ago. I called him a criminal. Mm-hmm. So he wants to clear his name. So, yeah, dude, freaking, like I said, I back to your podcast. I've been listening to your podcast, and I don't really, it's like, you don't even listen to podcasts, but you have a podcast? I'm like, well, yeah, I don't know, man. I found out a couple of coworkers from ours in San Bernardino area, they have a podcast. I started listening to that one. But you, man, you need to catch up on your podcast, dude.
I agree.
You said, hey, on one episode, you said, hey, I'm going to record one once a week. I'm going to be like Flat Tire Andy. And
yeah, I'm ashamed.
You dropped the ball on that one, man.
Dropped the ball. I was mistaken.
I asked your mother-in-law, hey, what's going on? How come he hasn't posted anything? He goes, yeah, he dropped the ball. I'm like, yeah, he's missing.
Yeah, I said I was going to post every week, and I hate making excuses. But apart from all of what was going on in my life, like we said, I had a baby, going through school, doing all those other roles like we mentioned before. A part of it was also laziness, I'm not gonna lie. Yeah. But this is encouraging. I'll probably make another one because of this episode.
Yeah, go for it, man. Like I said, dude, I bought all this equipment. I once you leave, I'm gonna put it all away and cover it up with this tablecloth that my mother-in-law's not very happy with because I'm using it for this.
Yeah.
They had it in a box up there somewhere, and now I'm using it for this. And I like doing this, man. I like setting everything up and getting it ready to go, and like strap the freaking tripods everywhere. So it's cool. I like it, man.
Yeah, for sure.
I like it, dude. If anybody wants to freaking do a pod, it's not that It's not that difficult, man.
Oh,
It really isn't.
Yeah.
You started off with your laptop, right? You record off of your laptop?
yeah. I basically I made a podcast, and it's free. And unless you want to pay for services that help you promote your podcast, but yeah, I just made it, and then I bought real cheap microphones. This is the first time I'm talking into expensive, high quality microphones. I bought like two $20 microphones, and then I started working off of that. And so yeah, my podcast isn't the best quality in regards to like mics, but
I remember the first email I sent you. Hey, what kind of microphone are you using? You're like, you're quick to show me which one. I'm like, no. You need to work with these.
yeah. Because I didn't know what was your intent behind the message, but I was like, I don't know, maybe he just wants to know because he likes them.
Yeah, no, there's like I started off with this little cheap microphone as well. It was only like $30,
Mm-hmm.
but then I found these, and I like them, dude. I like the quality, and then I follow like certain YouTube influencers, and I noticed that a couple of them have like the same microphone. I'm like, dude, I think I did the right call.
Oh, for sure.
So, keep doing them, bro. I just do this this is fun to me. This is fun. Like,
Yeah.
we're having I tell people like that to come on a podcast. Well, I don't know what to talk about. There are multiple. You know how many people out of 30 episodes? You know how many people came here? We had nothing to talk about, but we end up pulling a freaking 45 minute conversation.
Yeah,
like,
you have a brain. The brain is the most powerful thing in the universe.
yeah.
How are you gonna tell me you don't know?
I had no intention of talking about my background on drinking beer, but it happened.
Exactly.
So a podcast is just freaking talking. Just talk. A buddy of mine came over from Ojai, and he was on his way to Vegas, and we just talked. Freaking dogs came up. We talked about dogs. It's just having a conversation, but in front of microphones. And dude, your story was, I had to get you on here, man.
Appreciate it, man. Some people don't appreciate it, but it doesn't matter.
No, I liked it, dude. I was like, I'm telling you, I was walking, doing my thing for the day and my cardio for the day, and listening to your podcast. I did listen to the one with the Zoom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that one's bad quality.
Oh, yeah, it was a Zoom.
You ever want to use my microphone, so you're more than welcome to come use them here.
Thank you.
Just bring a chip. Bring a
chip.
chip and go ahead. But real quick, before we end this podcast, your baby.
Mm-hmm.
So he's 2 months.
Like a couple weeks, like two.
Oh, that's
2
right. My
weeks.
bad. A couple weeks.
Yeah.
And how'd that go? How was it? Like, you say you couldn't sleep.
Yeah, man. I mean, me and my wife, we decided to have a baby. I always like pitch ideas to her that I know she's gonna say yes to.
Yeah. You know she's gonna say yes to.
Oh, yeah.
Is she gonna hear this?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's okay. Like, I'd be like,
No. I heard. Yeah, your mother-in-law told me that your wife listened to my podcast. I'm like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
She goes, your boys sound very educated,
Yeah.
or they act very educated. And she's like, no. Your mother-in-law said, no. They really are that educated. They come here to get haircuts and they're reading books.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
I'm glad. Thank you for listening to my podcast.
Yeah, your kids are smart from what I can hear.
Yeah.
They're not dumb. They're actually like, cognizant.
I just can't get them to talk. I can't get them on here.
It is what it is.
I started those 0.5 episodes.
Yeah.
I only got 2 of them done.
Yeah.
Because they couldn't get them talking.
Got you.
But yeah, dude, it's 2 weeks.
Yeah. I pitched the idea to her, be like, hey, like, let's have a baby. She's just like, yeah.
Yeah.
And then,
let's not fight it.
Yeah. And then we had a kid. She was pregnant. She's still going to school. She didn't stop going to school. And she had a baby in the middle of the semester. The semester's still going on. And she's juggling the baby and school. If you ask her, she'll tell you, don't have a baby and go to school at the same time.
Yeah.
But she's been handling it.
That's good.
So,
it looks like you have a full plate and you're on it, and she's doing the same thing. Education's one of the smartest, the best thing you guys can do. It's like
trying.
With me, again, didn't really go too much school, and I tell my boys, you guys need it. You guys need education. Like with the whole distance learning, I hate it for my little one because I don't think he's catching it as much as he used to. He wasn't invited. He was in gate. He's in gate because that's how smart he is. So now I feel like he's slacking because of the whole But dude, any last minute words before I cut you off, or
last minute words?
any last
just
credit scores?
Yeah. Please remember to check out my podcast, Random Topics by Jacob Andrade.
On Spotify, or
it could be on Spotify, Apple, pretty much any podcast platform. From what I know, I haven't not seen it on any of those. And yeah, if you're real estate needs, let me know. And I run a kids club for wrestling. So if you have a kid from 5th grade to 8th grade that wants to know how to wrestle, reach out. We can get them to wrestle. Obviously not right now because of COVID.
I think I'm gonna send you my kids because they freaking pull a ladder on me the other day.
Oh, for sure.
Wait, no, I pulled the ladder. They pulled the shovel.
Yeah, they'll learn how to wrestle. They'll learn how to defend themselves, beat somebody up. And then whatever high school they go to, they'll be ahead of the game if they do decide to wrestle. So, yeah, but that won't be for a while until COVID's over. And, yeah, those are pretty much my services that I have to offer.
All right, but well, dude, again, thank you for your time in the military. Freaking thank you for your service.
Appreciate you.
And like I end every podcast, thank you for riding with me.
Let's ride.
Told you to think of something clever and you did.
Thank you for listening to Ride With Me, the Flat Tire Indie Podcast. You can also listen to us on iTunes, Spotify, and Podbean.